What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Jimmy Mullen podcast. This is one of two episodes that's coming out this week. This is the first one going up on Tuesday, and then I've got another going up on Friday. Today, I'm going to talk about all of the stuff that's going on with Warner Brothers Discovery and HBO Max and all the hellfire that's going on, all the stuff being removed, all the cancellations, delays, all sorts of mayhem that's going on, and I'm not too happy about it. So I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on everything. I initially was going to put it in like the next solo episode, but I figured this is such a huge topic with such to talk about that I figured it would just make more sense to make it its own episode, and then next time we'll talk about all the smaller stuff, give my thoughts on, all the movies that I've seen and things like that. So, yeah, we're going to talk about HBO Max and Warner Brothers Discovery today. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. So, from everything from the beginning, so basically, if you guys didn't know, Warner Brothers, a few months back, they were acquired by Discovery as AT&T sold them off, and now Discovery owns them. Which means, Warner Brothers is now under the same parent company as TV networks like HGTV, Food Network, all sorts of stuff like that. And coming into this new company, there's new higher-ups, there's a new CEO, and they've decided to make a bunch of decisions that not everyone is really happy with. In fact, a lot of this is simply just to save money. And unfortunately, money runs the world. Because of that, they had to make a couple sacrifices with removing content from HBO Max. So I'm going to talk about that today. It initially started with a press conference when they announced that they want to make Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman like household names again, and they want to make they want to focus on those big three with superhero movies and things like that, with stuff moving forward. They're not really worried about, all the world building and stuff like that, like Marvel has, but at the same time, they're saying they have like a 10-year plan for DC movies. Whether that means they're going to make a separate studio, we don't know. Marvel, over the last 10 plus years, has had their own film studio to make their movies, and DC has kind of just been another property that Warner Brothers has had. So they haven't really been able to capture the hearts of people like Marvel have because they don't really have a focus on it. It's just yet another movie that Warner Brothers is putting out. It's not like its own thing. So it looks like they want to change that. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully it means, we get some good stuff and, they're on the right track. I hope that they do it right and all that. However, one of the biggest problems with that is they are canceling and reworking a lot of stuff that was already in the works. Now, thankfully, the Blue Beetle movie is safe. I was going to be up in arms if that movie was not happening. They had also announced a Wonder Twins movie, and that got canceled right when the transition was done. Like, it had just gotten announced like a couple weeks prior, and then all of a sudden, boom, nope, it's not happening anymore. So thankfully, the Blue Beetle movie, which initially was supposed to go straight to HBO Max, is now also going to theaters, which is awesome. I would have been so disappointed if that one was canceled. However, Batgirl wasn't so lucky, though. Unfortunately, they have given Batgirl the axe. Basically, if you didn't know, this was a movie that was supposed to be coming out this year, I believe, for HBO Max. It had like a $90 million budget and had an entire cast and crew. Like, they finished the movie and everything. It was done. And they were just waiting to release it. And then higher-ups come in. They're like, nope, we don't want to release this anymore. We're going to write it off for taxes. And yeah, you guys got paid, but no one's going to see this movie. And it sucks because I was really looking forward to this movie. They had J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. They had Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. And that's obviously significant because the last time he played Batman on the big screen was in 1992, and he played Batman in 2 movies. And those movies are praised for many reasons. They're great movies. But now we're just not going to see this movie. And it sucks. I'm not exactly sure what the whole deal is because there have been tons of changes, especially over the last couple months with how they're operating things. But Initially, I think they were setting up Michael Keaton Batman to appear in the Flash movie, and then he was going to cross over into this Batgirl movie and the new Aquaman movie, but now it looks like Ben Affleck Batman is in that one. So it's a little confusing. Apparently the test audiences weren't so fond of the movie, but honestly, I would have loved to just see it. Just to see it happen. But I guess they just didn't have enough faith in the movie. They, didn't see any value in it, so they just trashed the whole thing, which sucks because, like I said, the movie was done and ready to go. But, yeah, shit just happens, unfortunately. Another victim of these cancellations they've been doing is this little prequel to that Scoob movie that came out in 2020. Like right during the beginning of the pandemic. It was set to come to theaters and then went straight to digital because, can't leave your house. Yeah, there was a prequel for that was set to come out, and now that's not happening either. It was called Scoob Holiday Haunt. That's just not happening now. And you think like, okay, like they're canceling a bunch of upcoming projects that, that they just didn't see value in. But it gets worse, okay? Let me tell you something. They started removing shows and movies that they had already released, and even legacy library titles that were just on HBO Max, and they just got rid of them to write them off. And a lot of them are Cartoon Network shows. Now, granted, most of them are newer shows, and I don't really have any connection with them by any means, but it's still unfortunate to see because I know damn well that there are fans of these shows out there. Easily the biggest disappointment with all this is that Uncle Grandpa was removed from HBO Max pretty much without warning. And yeah, it's although I haven't seen the show in years, like I was one of those people like as a kid that like loved that show for just how stupid it was, and I think that was the point. A lot of people just didn't give it the time of day, but now it seems like it's getting a lot more praise because of the fact that we don't have it. But the fact that it's like tax write-offs and not like, anything like, oh, it's just being removed, but it'll be back someday. No, they're just canning all of it. The show Infinity Train, which was an HBO Max original show made by Cartoon Network. That show from the beginning had been like completely neglected by the higher ups and all that. They didn't really give it the time of day. They just kind of threw it on HBO Max, and now it just isn't on there. And not only that, but other shows like OKKO, Victor and Valentino, shows like that, they've just had all of their content removed from HBO Max. And not only that, the shows aren't even allowed to be mentioned on like Cartoon Network's social media platforms or on YouTube. So all of the YouTube videos, like all the clips from those shows have just been removed from the Cartoon Network YouTube channel entirely. So it's not even just them getting removed from HBO Max. It's literally just pretty much wiping these shows from existence, at least with stuff that's currently available for viewing. Plus all soundtracks, they had like soundtracks that were in songs that you could buy on like iTunes and Spotify. You can stream them and stuff like that. They're just gone. You could buy DVDs for some of these shows, and they've just been delisted from all the stores you could buy them from. You can't buy them online anymore unless you buy them secondhand on eBay or something. But now, the prices of these are going to go up because they're in demand now that you can't watch them on HBO Max. It's just been headline after headline after headline for weeks now, and I don't really see an end in sight. And, I didn't really want to wait this out too much. If there's anything that comes out by the time the next episode drops, I'll mention it in the beginning or something. But yeah, this is just fucked, and it doesn't even end there. They're not canceling everything, however. There are some things that still survived. Like there's a Harley Quinn animated series that just got renewed for a 4th season. There's a couple Looney Tunes things that got saved. A bunch of their DC movies that they already had in the works, like Black Adam, The Flash, Aquaman 2, like those are all moving forward. Even despite all the stuff with Ezra Miller that's been in the news for months now, they're still moving forward with the Flash movie. It doesn't even end there with removals, though. 200 classic episodes of Sesame Street were also just randomly removed, which is insane because from the beginning with this platform, they advertised that pretty much every episode of Sesame Street would be available on this service for, old and new fans alike. And now just randomly 200 episodes are just gone with no real reason as to why, other than the fact that they're tax write-offs, which I think is just the stupidest reason you could give for removing stuff from a platform. I feel like it's one thing, like if you like cancel a show if it's like running on a major TV network or something, but this is a streaming service. This is like, there's supposed to be like a catalog for just all of the stuff that these companies own. This is like a way for people to watch these things because of the fact that they won't play reruns on networks and things like that. But when you take that away, it kind of just defeats the purpose of it, I feel like. Oh, and we're not done. There was an Amazing World of Gumball movie that is now being redistributed. Now, granted, it's not being canceled, but it's not moving forward at HBO Max anymore. So they're going to be redistributing it to another service. And not only that, there was I guess, I'm not sure if it's a sequel or a spiritual successor of some kind to Batman the Animated Series. It's called Batman the Caped Crusader. That was supposed to be coming out for HBO Max. It had Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams involved with it. Kevin Conroy was coming back to voice Batman. Like, this was a huge deal. And now it's just not moving forward at HBO Max. I think Netflix and Hulu are already trying to latch onto it and claim it for their own. So hopefully these shows still come out. Hopefully we still see them. You know, I really want to see a Gumball movie. I love that show to pieces. And it's a real shame to see that, you know, this movie was being worked on. I didn't even know that it was happening, and now it's just in jeopardy of not even happening. So, yeah, I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. It's gotten so bad. Like they've had so much bad press. I have in my notes here. I was kind of writing stuff down as all the headlines were happening. As of August 19th, they had lost over $2 billion in stock market cap, and now they're at a point where they can only release 2 more movies in theaters for the rest of the year, being Black Adam and Don't Worry, Darling. Every single movie other than those 2 that was set to come out is now being delayed to next year. So they had a Shazam movie that was supposed to come out in December. That's not happening anymore. Aquaman 2, I think, was supposed to come out like early 2023, and now it's coming out at like the very end of 2023. Same with The Flash, that also got delayed again. It's just been delay after delay after delay with these movies. It makes me wonder if we're even going to see them. They honestly kind of feel like fever dreams. And the crazy part is, throughout, you know, as soon as they started putting out these headlines and all that, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, Joker 2 is coming out. We casted Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. It's gonna be a musical. This is totally not a distraction from the fact that our company is in shambles, and you know, this buyout might have been a mistake. We totally know what we're doing. We love our fans. We care about the people that, you know, make us money and stuff. You know, we it's them first and all. Like, no, it's petty. It's just embarrassing, like, to see all this going on. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for the Batgirl movie to be canceled. Nobody asked for Scoob Holiday Haunt to be canceled. This is all just a mess, and I'm just not. I just don't see this being good in any way, shape, or form moving forward. Not only that, but they're also looking to merge HBO Max and Discovery Plus into one streaming service, and that's going to be coming in the summer of 2023. Now, honestly, I don't really have a problem with that. I think that's fine. You know, if it gives me more stuff to watch, I mean, I'm probably not going to watch any of it, but like I said, I'm fine with them merging. My only issue, my only hope, is that if they do go through with this merger, that they keep the UI for HBO Max, because I love the way the app is sorted. I love, you know, the UI. I love the way everything looks, everything's presented. I've never used Discovery Plus, but from what I've heard, the UI on that service isn't so great, and a lot of people just don't really like it. So I'm hoping that they stick with the HBO Max UI and they just build off of that, because they're doing a pretty good job with that, I will say. It's a shame to see this platform just kind of fall, and, you know, all the bullshit with that, because from the get-go, like, I loved the idea of HBO Max. I thought it was really sick, you know, all the stuff they were advertising. You know, this would be the platform to watch Studio Ghibli movies in the US. You could watch all the episodes of Sesame Street, all of these Cartoon Network shows that haven't been on streaming in years. They're finally coming back. I can watch all of Ben 10 on streaming. Tons of older Cartoon Network shows that I grew up with I can rewatch, like Chowder, Flapjack, Uncle Grandpa, but not anymore. Regular show, Adventure Time, Amazing World of Gumball, all these fantastic shows that I could watch so easily. I think that's great. I love the idea of that. I love the idea that they just kind of took HBO and put it on steroids, and now it's like a Netflix but for Warner Brothers stuff. I think that's really cool. I think it's a bit better than Netflix in some aspects. I feel like Netflix could learn a bit from HBO Max. Now, granted, Warner Brothers is a film studio that has been around for a very long time, so they have a lot of stuff in their archives and things like that. Netflix is something that started out as a DVD rental service that turned into a streaming service, and then they had to start making original content to keep people invested. So it's not really a fair comparison, but at the same time, I feel like they can learn a lot from HBO Max. In regards to the future of HBO Max, I hope this merger does well. I hope it doesn't mean anything bad for the service. I would hate to see it just be completely shut down. But at the same time, the streaming wars are intense. I feel like there are too many of them now. It's not really sustainable for a lot of people. It's kind of just become what they sought out to destroy, which was cable television. Because now you have all these different options because everyone wants a piece of the pie. They want their own streaming service, and consumers are suffering again. They're paying so much money a month now for streaming services. So maybe it is a good thing that they're starting to either merge together or be phased out or something like that. It's kind of crazy because HBO Max as a service has only been around for 2 years, and it's already dealing with all of this craziness, plus all the stuff with Netflix that's been happening. I've been wanting to talk about that as well, with people just losing faith in that. And honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat. I only really watch Netflix for a few things anyway. 90% of the shit on there is just garbage that they just greenlight because of the fact that, oh, cool, you can watch this title. They kind of had this like quantity over quality kind of thing going on, and that only works for so long before people catch on and realize, a lot of the stuff you have on your service is complete shit. I think HBO does a better job with, all the stuff they put on their service. They pick stuff a bit better than Netflix. Netflix will literally greenlight any idea that comes to them, it feels like. But yeah, overall, I'm a little lost. I don't know what the future will hold for this platform. I hope that everyone is able to make the most of it despite all of these unfortunate incidents that are happening, despite all of the shows that have been taken from us. I hope that it gets better. I hope that somehow, some way, we could get these shows back, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Uncle Grandpa is the worst victim of them all, though. I still can't believe that. Why would you take Uncle Grandpa from us, man? That's just not fair. It's just not fair. I hope with this merger that they stick with the HBO Max UI because, like I said, from what I've heard, the Discovery Plus UI fucking sucks. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I know it was a shorter one, but I really wanted to talk about all of this in one episode. So if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, hit the bell, and subscribe. Stay tuned for Friday, where I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Lightyear, Thor Love and Thunder, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, all the stuff from Marvel and DC at San Diego Comic-Con, and other stuff like that. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff this week. Be sure to follow the podcast on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. If you're listening on the audio platforms, leave a follow, drop a rating, write a review. I'd really appreciate it. With that said, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.